You're listening to the Real Estate Mega Mom Show, a podcast designed to help real estate moms become mega agent. My name is Jessica Hensley. I'm a mom, broker, team leader, and coach. And I'm sitting down weekly with other mega moms to talk about their process, the lessons they've learned, and how they do it all. Real Estate Mega Moms, Jessica Hensley here with Real Estate Mega Moms, where we help moms create a life and a business that they love. And I'm down a partner today, Randy Parra. She is off busy doing some behind the scenes work in our business, but we have a special guest with us. So today we have Natalie Klun, and thank you so much for being with us today, Natalie.
Yes, I'm excited.
So Natalie is an author, and have you written more than one book or just the one right now?
Just the one book right now. I do have some others that I've got the outlines and everything ready, but no, just the one that's published, yeah.
But it's really exciting that you were able to do that. It's a dream. That's been a dream of mine for a long time, and I just even getting started is hard. But her book is titled Taking the Sale Out of Sales. Yes. Sell out of sales. So you were a real estate agent, right?
Yes. I have a special place in my heart for real estate people. I spent 15 years in real estate, and I say I retired, but I mean, I sold my business because I wanted to focus full time in serving others in their business. And you know, when you're in real estate, that is a full-time gig. Anytime anyone says you can do it part-time, no, you can't, right?
Well, and not reach large goals. I suppose you could do it part-time if you're like, hey, I just want to do one or two, and that's you know your goal. And we're going to talk about goals in a little bit.
Yes. Oh, no, absolutely. I agree with you. It's really, what your individual goal is, but there's a lot of work that goes into being in real estate, and I don't think it gets the credit that it deserves.
Absolutely. I've been able to build a team, and I don't know how I can do it on my own, let alone part-time. So, and it's crazy because it's almost, the scale isn't quite even. So what I mean is doing 5 transactions versus doing 20 transactions, you're still doing a lot of the same activities. You know what I mean? Because you have marketing, you have all of those things. So anyway, but awesome. So you have a background in real estate. You said 15 years, and you were one of the top producers in your market, right?
Yeah, so I had a real estate company in an area where what I did personally was I was the real estate rep for the economic development team. And so my job was to go out and sell the entire city. And we were selling to developers, we were selling to businesses, we were selling to really catering to the industry. I did have a team. So like you said, I couldn't do it without my team. We did have the residential side, and we also had a property management division. So we were a full service firm, all the way from selling the city down to helping people with rentals, managing their investments, building new homes, selling homes. I mean, we did it all. So
that's amazing. How did you get the connection with the city to be able to sell the city? That's pretty cool.
It was actually really funny. I went to an economic development summit, and I'm a really big thinker. Like, I'll take something and I'll be like, oh my gosh, we could do this. And I actually approached the city and the county and said, let's put a team together and go out and promote the city. And so I was like the person behind putting the marketing together, scheduling, like we would travel and go to different events. So I actually approached them and created the team, and it was a lot of fun. It was definitely an interesting experience.
Yeah, that's something that I could see doing, although I'm a big thinker too, and sometimes it's like a million different ideas, and what do you do first?
Right. Yeah, and when you're a big thinker, there is such a thing as shiny object syndrome, and I've had to learn how to tame that for myself, so I get it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, okay, so fast forward, now you said you're a trainer.
Yes. Yeah, so in my real estate business, although I went out and sold the city and I worked with billion-dollar companies and some million-dollar companies. My favorite part of my job was taking agents, some of them brand new to the business, terrified and going from their comfort zone with their salary or whatever job they had and going to a commission only. And I get it. It's totally scary. But I said, if you trust me, I'll teach you everything I know. Most agents, the ones that applied what they learned, like there were some that didn't get success, but every agent that applied what they learned, they went from nothing to 6 figures in their first year, which in the real estate community is really unheard of. So I'm like, I love that part of the business. I love seeing people build a business, making more money than they've ever made. And that's what really inspired the book and inspired me to sell my business and go out and help as many people as I possibly can, not being limited to one market, one industry, anything like that.
So what kind of things can they expect from your book if they were to pick this up, and where can they get it as well?
Oh, you can get it on Amazon. You can get it on my website. Amazon's probably the easiest because you get the free shipping, all of that fun stuff. So yeah, it's on Amazon, on Barnes & Noble. You can go on if you have a Barnes & Noble's membership club. I like to support Barnes & Noble because I like the brick and mortar. I don't want that to ever go away. So any of those locations, but why I wrote the book is I've been in sales over 20 years, and I really struggled with that part of what they teach in selling that makes you feel like you have to be this like aggressive kind of alter ego, talking people into doing things. And it really, to me, it doesn't feel natural. And a lot of people that I've talked to, it doesn't feel natural. But what does it truly mean to sell? And an epiphany that I had, and this sounds so crazy, but when I really got the concept that selling is helping people, and at the time I just happened to help people with real estate, right? When I truly got that, I was able to let go of all of the pressure that I was putting on myself and what it meant to sell. And I just set the intention that I'm going to help people. And it was crazy. I had people coming to my office, calling me, and they just kept saying, "We know you can help. We know you can help." And my business that year tripled. I had the biggest year that I'd ever had, and I had stopped my marketing. I had stopped doing a lot of the stuff that I was doing that I didn't know if it was working or not. And I was very clear on, I just want to go out and I want to help people. And so that's where the book was inspired. What does it truly mean to sell? How can you use your business, your product, your service as your means to make a difference in the world? So I think there's a lot of people that want to live in purpose and want to be in their purpose, but they have a life, they have to work, they're busy, they have family, and they're trying to find that, in all of everything that they have going on. But how can you bring the two together and use your product and your service to make a difference in the world? And that's really the basis of the book.
I think you're so right. And I think especially when you start out, you're really thinking about just getting the new business and you're, reading those scripts. But then the flip side of that is after you do get some of the business is getting burned out, and not just kind of feeling jaded and like sometimes you're taking advantage of. Have you ever dealt with that? And, how did you stay genuine?
Well, that does come with being in business and especially in real estate, where there can be a competitive undertone, and it's hard not to get burned out by that. It's hard not to take it personal. It's hard when there are people out there who their intentions may not be the best, right? But I just found by sticking to being true to the intention of wanting to help people. And what I found super interesting is I would have other people's clients calling me, and I'm not one, like, I believe way too much in what you put out is what you get back. So I'm not going to try to steal anyone's clients because I don't want that karma on my shoulders. Right. But they would call me and they would say, "Can you help us?" Like, they're using my word, right? "Can you help us?" And a lot of times it was little questions like, when do I get to move in? And what do I do with my utilities? And they just couldn't get their agent to call them back. How that came full circle is I would answer their questions and then, direct them to go back to their agent. But when they ran into somebody who needed a real estate agent or needed someone to help them, they referred them to me. So it came back around full circle. So it's really being in the spirit of not letting that outside stuff affect you.
Because it would be so easy to say, well, you have to call your agent for that. I'm not going to talk to you, and just, and I will confess, honestly, that would be my first instinct. Mm-hmm. And so kind of stepping back and saying, okay, here's the answer to your question. Definitely call your agent. I'm, happy to help. Yep. So I love that. Yeah,
absolutely. Well, and I think the other thing too is when you are in the spirit and the energy of helping people, they feel that, right? And I just come to learn that the people who don't have good intentions, or who are the ones that are stepping on toes or being competitive or trying to steal the jaded part of the business, right? I just really learned that's on them, right? I can't take it personal, because that's on them. And so when I really was able to block out the noise and just every day, how many people can I help? What made it fun, what made it interesting is when you have to do the prospecting and you have to do the follow-up and you have to do all that stuff that really becomes, you just feel oh gosh, I have to do that again. What I found is when my intention was just going out and helping people, I enjoyed the process. I pick up the phone. I'm can I help you? Or can I help you?
Yeah.
I'd go to networking events with a different energy. I would go out and what was funny is when I did that, anywhere I went, I would end up coming back to the office with a lead, because I was just talking to people. I'd go get my blood drawn at the hospital and come back with a lead, or I would go to the phone place. And it was just truly being in that spirit of wanting to serve my community, wanting to get to know the people in the community and help them with the largest investment that they're ever going to make, and taking that so serious. And people really felt that.
Yeah. I can even tell the difference in team members, because I've had different employees and agents and things work for me, and I've seen the difference. Currently, I have an amazing ISA, and she gets so excited when she's able to help someone get approved, to the point where she's almost in tears, because she's just so genuinely happy for them. And it makes her so good at her job, because you can tell she really cares.
100%. Yeah, absolutely. And like I was sharing earlier, I had some agents that they resisted the training, they resisted, and they didn't get the results. And then I had the agents that went all in, and they were like a sponge, and they were grateful for the help. And those are the ones that went on to make more money than they've ever made, building their dream home. Some of them went out and started new businesses. In fact, the agent who took over my business was an agent that I trained. And so, yeah, it really does make a difference in how you show up, and being willing to be a valued resource to your community, to those who have trusted in you to help them with the place that they call home, right?
So let's talk about some daily activities. That's kind of really our theme this month in the Inner Circle, which, by the way, ladies that are watching, if you're not part of our Inner Circle, you should definitely check it out. You can just click on the link in our Facebook profile to find out more information. But right now we're talking about what every agent should be doing each day, having a great morning routine. We have a really cool little time tracker that we have to use an exercise we had our agents do to find out where they're wasting time. So, with your philosophy behind taking this all out of sales, what are some activities that they could do right now to help them get leads?
So one of the things that I love to focus on, and as a trainer, my primary focus is helping you hit your goal, right? So putting a plan together on hitting your sales goal. I have a formula that I use that we plug your goal into the formula. There's two things that the formula does. Is one, it gives you that clarity. So you know exactly where you need to be focusing. And I break it down to the day on what you need to be doing in order to hit that goal. So it helps you if you have distractions or things coming up. I love that you're doing a time tracker. I love that you're helping them see where they're spending time that maybe is not moving them toward their goal, because once you break it down and you know where you need to be focusing on, everything else you're like, no way, like you're not going to get in my way. The other thing that it helps you do is it reinforces your belief behind your goal. So if you have a big goal, say you want to make $250,000, a lot of times that goal seems so big and so overwhelming that there's something inside that doesn't fully help you believe or get behind that goal. You're like, yeah, that would be great, but there's, that internal challenge.
Right. You don't believe it or think it could be real.
Yeah. And the reality is it's so much more possible than you believe. So we break it down. So now you're like, oh, okay, I totally believe in it. And then we go from what are the habits that you need to create in order to move towards your goal. And what's interesting about goals and interesting about what you're doing is our brains are wired to accept what is familiar and reject what is unfamiliar. So if your goal is stretching you, it's putting you outside of your comfort zone, you're naturally wired to default to what is comfortable to you or for you or familiar. So how do you create habits? And it's the repetition and it's the schedule and it's following that routine that then allows you to create habits that support you moving towards your goal, which then creates that as being familiar. So you'll naturally be wired to move in that direction. So it's really important to know what's going on, have a clear direction, and then have the system that supports you in moving in that direction.
Absolutely. That's really interesting that you say a lot of what you're saying is it's really, I think that it's easy for us to forget that if it's not on our calendar, it doesn't exist. The time blocking, the myth of multitasking. I personally feel anxiety and overwhelm a lot of times with, oh my gosh, I have all these things I need to do. And I'll just have these things just pop in my head. And then instead of just stopping and doing that task or putting it on my calendar, I go about my day and then something else will pop in my head. And then it's like a continual, like my brain keeps bringing back, oh yeah, remember this thing you have to do? Remember you need to do this, Jessica? Remember, and it's just cluttering my mind and, making me a procrastinator, really. That's definitely my tendency, unless I'm intentional with my time.
Well, and really what's happening is because of the way our brains are wired, your brain is putting all these things saying, hey, this is familiar. Hey, this is familiar. Hey, this is familiar. It's a distraction, right? But when you're aware that that's what's happening, and then you've been intentional on what you need to be doing, and yes, adding it into your schedule, having a routine around it, the repetition of it, and knowing and recognizing when those things come up. And I always ask two questions, and this is what I teach. Is this moving me towards my goal? And will this enhance my quality of life? And if you answer no, then get it off your plate. Now, if it's something that's absolutely necessary, needs to be done, find someone that you can delegate it to. And that includes business and personal stuff too. Like, I get it. A lot of people have families and there are family matters that need to be dealt with, and you can't just delete it and say, nope, we're not going to do this. It needs to be done. But you can then enroll your family in supporting you and helping you move towards your goal by, assigning them certain things that need to be done so you can focus on the tasks that are moving you towards your goal.
Yeah. So this week, I started a new habit, which is journaling. And it's not like I've never journaled before, but just decided, since we're talking about in the inner circle and we're talking about mastering your mornings, I know that that's one of the things that a lot of really highly successful people do. Starting your day with gratitude, that kind of thing. And so for the last, 4 or 5 days, every morning I've been, doing my journaling. Today I'm grateful for, this is what I've learned today, or what I could do better. And one of the things I thought about this morning was, there are all of these, like I said, all these little things that keep coming to my mind that I just don't do, like get fish food for, Henry's Fish, or, take the jeans to get altered, or not altered. He has a hole in it. My husband has a hole in his jeans, and he asked me to take it to someone to patch. Just these like little tasks that I'm super good at, time blocking and moving forward with my business. But sometimes I forget some of my personal stuff, even, and it's like I just put it off. And so what I decided to do today, I'm just going to do it. And so I've been doing the little things that have came to my mind. And I feel good. I feel like, okay, I can rest and I can move on to the next thing. Anyway.
Yeah, because when you have something hanging over your head that needs to be done, you have energy going towards that because you're saying, like, you've got it in the back of mind, I got this to do, I got this to do. And in some cases, if you can't take it off your plate, or if you can't delegate it, just have a designated day where, okay, I'm going to schedule all of my errands in this time on this certain day, and then you can quit worrying about it. It's going to get done. You have it in the schedule. You have it set. It's so simple, but what the reality is it is truly powerful, because most of the time distractions are, I call it resistance in disguise. And so you can really get a clue into where you're resisting. And if you are organizing things in a way like that, it really it helps you to bring to the surface what's happening, so you can be aware of it. Because once you're aware of it, then you can address it, right? And a lot of times it's just shifting your focus where you want to be, that allows you to move towards your goal.
Yeah, absolutely. And so in speaking about the goals, we are going to invite you to be part of our mastermind in June. And so we wanted to do maybe like a little fun challenge, free challenge with our moms. So can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes. So I have a challenge that I do. I love talking about this challenge because I've got one going right now. We're active in a challenge, and it's 5 days. So the first day is all about the formula. We take your goal, we plug it into the formula, and I say, think of your wouldn't it be nice goal. Because 9 out of 10 times, if not 100% of the time, when I do this with somebody, I love to see the look on their face, because their goal will either go increase because they're like, oh, wow, I could totally do that. Now let's bump it up, right? Or you see that sense of belief come over them, like, I could really do that, right? So we plug your goal into the formula. I want to get you into that place. The second day is all around creating the habits. So what are the habits? And I always encourage you to consider the sales cycle, right? So what are your habits that you can create around the sales cycle? If you're generating leads and then you bring them into the follow-up mode and the nurturing mode, then you bring them into the enrolling mode. Like, how do you create habits that are considering the sales cycle so you don't have those peaks and valleys in your business? And in real estate, it's all about the peaks and valleys. You have all this business one month and the next month it's crickets, and you're like, why? And it's because you're not keeping the cycle going, right? So it's all about creating habits around the cycle. The third day is all around putting those into your schedule, just like what you're talking about. Today, the challenge the group that I'm working with, we're on day 4, and we were talking about eliminating distractions, what self-sabotage means. So addressing self-sabotage, addressing those limitations. And then we talk about what competition really, what it truly means to be competitive, how to avoid comparison. And then we wrap up in talking about how to increase the probability of hitting your goal by 95%, and where is the greatest investment that you can put into your business that will get the highest return on investment. So that's what happens during the challenge. Yeah.
Awesome. So we're going to have a little, she's going to do it for Mega Moms. Okay. So if you want to be on the list, and so we can notify you when the challenge begins, probably going to be in June, just comment challenge below, and one of our admin will send you a link so you can enroll and be on the list. And this will be a free 6-day challenge, it sounds like. So
yeah. 5 days. Yeah.
Oh, it's 5 days? Okay. So anyway, yeah, so I'm excited about that. And I think that it really goes right in line with our message and what we're trying to share with our moms is, we don't believe that there's one size fits all for success. So it doesn't, to be successful, and you don't have to do 10 million or 200 transactions or whatever. It's all about your own personal individualized version of success, your individual goals, whatever that is. And we want you to determine that, and then we want to help you reach that goal. And we want you to be comfortable with it and overcome the guilt of, well, man, if I'm not doing 40 transactions, then I must not be successful. We don't want you to have that guilt. Or maybe vice versa, man, I'm doing 200 and, all these people are judging me because I'm not spending enough time with my family or something. It's all about your own individualized.
Absolutely. I totally agree. And that's kind of where the whole comparison thing comes in. Like, we have this tendency to compare ourselves, and no, it should be what you feel and what's important to you. And in some cases, balancing business and family is really important. And there's some people that it's all about just going out and like knocking it out of the park. Like, it all is, it's an individual journey. So you decide what is best for you and then create that. And then if you want to take it to the next level, you can. But
and like you said, I mean, it's all about seasons, so maybe you have little kids at home and now's not your time to, work 40, 60 hours a week and build an empire. Or maybe it is, I mean, we're not here to say you should or shouldn't, but embrace the seasons of your life. And it's okay to change your goals every year.
Yeah, your goals should enhance the quality of your life and enhance the quality of your family's life. And the beautiful thing about real estate is you can write your own ticket. You can say, this is what it looks like for me. And then you move in that direction. And real estate allows the freedom, the flexibility. It allows you to make really great money, even working part-time. It allows you to work from home and spend that quality time, especially if you have little ones. It allows you to create your schedule in the way that you want to. And there's freedom in that. So embrace that versus trying to fit yourself into someone else's box.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Natalie, for being with us today. Is there anything else you wanted to share with them, or where we can connect with you if they want to learn more about your systems?
Yeah, absolutely. So Natalie Klun is my name. So it's Klun. That's how you spell my last name. That's how you can find me on social media, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. I love LinkedIn. So reach out to me on LinkedIn. That's a great resource, an untapped resource for real estate people, right? I encourage you to join the challenge. Like Jessica was saying, we'll do a challenge specifically to mega moms. Like, it'll just all be mega moms. I usually charge to bring people through this challenge. So because of my relationship with Jessica and she wanting to offer this gift to your community, take advantage of it. So drop challenge below, let her know that you want to be a part of it, and we'll do it. We'll rock and roll.
I can't wait. I'm so excited. Thank you for bringing it and for sharing with us. We love collaborating with high power, empowering women, really. So I think it's important to network with people that are like-minded and that are doing great things in real estate. So
well, I love your community. I love real estate, and I love that you work with moms, because I do believe you can have it all. You can be a mom and you can be successful. And so any way that I can support you and your community, I'm there.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you so much. We'll talk to you later. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Real Estate Mega Mom podcast. Don't forget to subscribe and to leave us a review on iTunes.